on traffic safety is simply how much are you going to pay me to put in our coffers? You're going to lose your entire, you open yourself up to losing your entire sign code. And I've seen cities and counties that have been faced with the prospect of having 60, as many as 60 billboard applications all submitted at the same time because somebody thinks that a city or a county is vulnerable to attack. And I will tell you right now, if I were a billboard boarder, and I know a few ones that are, don't have a high opinion of it, but I know a few ones that if they saw what has been happening in Miami, Miami would be inundated with hundreds of applications. Somebody would sign up, sites all over Miami, and then attack the whole regulatory structure of Miami that is all based upon money, which is not a reason to regulate signs in the first place.
This is the first time that I read the penalty is being suspended. You know, the 10% of the federal highway money.
They don't do that lightly. They've done that before. They've threatened Florida a couple times before with penalties. They don't do that lightly.
Have they done it anywhere? Because I think if people know that,
Yeah, they've done it.
that's scary.
Yeah, they've done it. They've done it both ways. They actually did it. I believe it was Vermont, because Vermont wasn't going to pay compensation for removal of billboards in Vermont along the interstate, and that was a penalty provision. South Dakota was penalized, and South Dakota finally came into compliance. Let me tell you what South Dakota did. Probably worse than Miami. People know. But they decided to zone a certain, like 100 feet or a certain distance along all their roadways and call it commercial. Hello, that is not legitimate comprehensive zoning. That is basically conflict of HPA. They have threatened it several times in Florida, one of which I was involved in 2004, but they will begin the machine. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a machinery and a mechanism within the federal government by which you do that.
I just wanted to ask one point. The federal law, the Highway Beautification Act, that applies to just federal highways or state roads also?
It applies to any roadway in the state of Florida that's an interstate or is what is known as a federal aid primary highway, which would be US 1. The state of Florida, the DOT has a website where you can click on, you can go to outdoor advertising, you can go to, there's a kind of a menu where you can put in a county, you can put in Miami-Dade, and that will show you all the roadways in Miami-Dade County that are regulated by DOT, and there are either interstate, primary, or secondary. And those roadways that are primary and interstate are the ones that are subject to the Highway Beautification Act. Secondary, they're controlled by DOT, but they're not subject to the Lady Bird Act. Because really, the Lady Bird Act is, that was her legacy in this country. And so you can see the roadways that are covered by the HBA. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
You mentioned in the Constitution, I don't know anything about law, but you mentioned the Constitution having that it's supposed to be beautiful in our state constitution. So, I mean, how does that get argued, or does it get argued, or
it's a kind of forgotten provision.
And so, is it anything that can be used to?
Well, I know this gentleman has written some sign ordinances. All the sign ordinances that I write for local governments, and it's good for any local government to do this, is to mention that provision in the state constitution that it shall be the policy of the state to conserve and protect its scenic beauty. So that's a further support for regulating signs, which obviously impact the issue of aesthetics and beauty. But it is not argued enough in court when you're dealing with these issues, and it should be. It's just an oversight among lawyers that don't have the experience they should have. This gentleman, yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Ernie, and this is my neighbor, Eileen. I happen to live near a neighborhood that is right here where 836 and I-95 meet, and that happens to be the epicenter of all kinds of signage, whether you're talking about wall murals or LED lights that are flashing. Our neighbors in Overtown, which are some of the people we contacted, are not here tonight. There were 2 murders last like this, that we have a very peaceful, historic neighborhood that is quietly and suddenly being destroyed by mostly wall murals around new buildings in the health district. And our neighbors in Overtown are having to put aluminum foil on their windows to sleep at night. Are there some model ordinances that you could perhaps provide to Scenic Miami that we could propose? Because all that we're getting are proposals proposed by the outdoor advertising industry that promote their interests. But we don't really have anything yet to counter that with. Could you
Well,
help us with that, with all of your expertise and your knowledge and connections?
I have prepared some documents for Barbara and Bill and Peter to address part of that with the county, for the county. The city is more problematic. I mean, the city has some problems. They've entered into settlement agreements that give vested rights to billboard companies, so there's certain things that billboard companies can do. But I'll just share with you the Clearwater ordinance has been shared and with Scenic Miami and Scenic Miami-Dade, which I believe that was a 2-year project that I was involved in, and it took a long time. The business community, the chamber, all came together and supported not having flashing signs, not having signs that change more frequently than, I think it may be every 6 hours. I mean, they don't allow billboards at all, and they're almost have the last ones gone. But to address part of your problem is about where we go forward from here, besides we need the laws, we need the media, print and electronic, to focus on these stories and not just focus on it for one day and then walk away from it. And I don't think decision makers in Washington, I mean, I can sit down with the Chief Counsel of Federal Highway and talk about some of these things, but unless you actually live it and see it, when you're in your office in Washington and you don't see this stuff, you don't understand it. And it's a disrespect to people that don't have the political power or anywhere close to the financial wherewithal to file challenges or to call or even know who to call. And the media, if there's anyone here with the media tonight, I urge you to consider not just following this as a one-story thing, but do it as a series, because that's important. It helps educate those of you who are elected officials or represent elected officials to what can we do. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that Jacksonville had an initiative to ban billboards, and I know I've lived in La Jolla and San Diego County. They did that in the 70s. I don't know
Pete Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still there, but that was done back then. Is that a possibility for the state of Florida to try to find and put an initiative going that would do it for the state?
Well, actually, I was involved quite a number of years ago. There's still a live petition, constitutional initiative to prohibit construction of new billboards in the state of Florida. But we put that on hold a number of years ago because my own personal experience has been I don't want to pay signature gatherers, and based upon, for those of you who may know something about constitutional amendments, the number of petitions you have to have signed within a 48-month window is a pretty significant amount, and we could not achieve that goal with simply volunteers, and we did not have the wherewithal to raise. We did not have the funds available to pay for paid signature gatherers, and it was not something that I personally was comfortable with because I like the other way of doing initiatives. So it is possible. The hurdle is high. In the meantime, the legislature has passed as a state, for good or worse. We raised the bar for constitutional amendments of having to actually have 50% plus one, but having to get, I think it's 60%, 60 or 60%. So it's harder. It may not pass. I think it's best to be done at the local level. Peter, and then this gentleman.
Bill, I just like to introduce Jim Mullen. Jim Mullen came from after we started. Jim Mullen's on my right, and he's the owner, editor, and publisher of This Game Times, local media paper. He's done a fantastic job the last few years.
Presbogram. I read it from time to time at my desk in Jacksonville. Yes, sir.
When I say everybody should go to law, that's really the first thing that everybody really needs to understand. I mean, you can have a meeting like this and talk about all this and you can say whatever, but the reality is that the last meeting the city commission, we was there a few years ago. And that was it. And we had the commission about this and what the ordinance was given to, right? I mean, there's really a few. But that's it. The politicians don't know that there are people who are going to show up and be there, en masse, then they're going to say, well, nobody cares, so why should I? Right? If you can't show up, you can certainly send an email, you can certainly write a letter. As a matter of fact, the gentleman over there in the corner with the jacket on, that's Commissioner Sarnoff's chief of staff. Now, if there's any one person in the entire city of Miami who you could probably put the arrow on saying, more than anybody else, you're the one responsible for a lot of this nonsense that's been going on for the last 5 or 6 years, it's that gentleman's boss. Right? So you should go tell him before he leaves, say, I'm unhappy, and tell your boss that I'm unhappy.
Well, my comment when I call this lady, my comment for that is, look, education is important. Knowing more and more. Once somebody told me when I was going to become a lawyer, I was going to know more and more about less and less. I feel like I knew everything about nothing. And I'm getting close to that point. But education and getting information is helpful. I'm glad Commissioner Sarnoff's chief of staff is here tonight with his lovely wife, because that's a good thing. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask if there are any statistics or anything we can put together about accidents that are caused by these billboards. And I will say, with respect to Commission Chairman and to Ron, that when they were talking about putting these flashing billboards on the Western Center and the Children's Museum and the Knight Center, and I said, the highway goes right along the side of that. And I asked a lot of taxi drivers, because I take a lot of taxis, do you think they interfere with your vision when you're driving? And they all say, of course. And Mark Sarnoff and others on the city commission laughed at me when I stood up and said that. So you have to go to the city commission and say what you think and be very firm about it and not be pushed around. So are there statistics being developed about that kind of accident?
There are studies recently in Sweden and Israel on that, which I'll talk about in a second. Statistics can be very deceiving, because a lot of times statistics are based upon someone saying, oh yes, I was negligent. I looked at that sign and that's why I swerved and had the accident. The human factors engineers will say statistics are not the best way to judge the issue of traffic safety. But I'll come back to that. Yes, ma'am.
There could be another way of achieving what we want to achieve. Because as you are very aware, Barbara Bisno, Bill Collins, Peter Ehrlich spearheaded this issue for the past 2 years. And they actually, being on the face of every county commissioner, every city commissioner, they've actually reviewed the amendments to the sign ordinances. They've actually provided amendments to the sign ordinances. They've gone before the city commission, and they just go like that. As a matter of fact, the last time they went, they were demeaned by one specific county commissioner. Therefore, we have done, and we have sent emails, so we have sent emails, and we've appeared before supporting them, and nothing has happened. So therefore, what is there to do? Is there a possibility of filing a lawsuit? Is it against the city, the county, the MDOT, the U.S. Department of Transportation? Who? All of them, or who?
Well, I think there may be some research that might go on at the law school or to look at that issue. I will share two things I wanted to do tonight. John, you want to come up and talk about Scenic Florida and a grant? In my experience, communications, even if it takes a long time, repeated communications, not offensive, but communications, eventually will have the impact all would like to see at the end of the day? Maybe, maybe not, but you can't give up. Federal highway is impacted by knowledge and by press. And I'm glad that Biscayne Times is here because, quite frankly, if there were more press on this, and I know there's been press, but it can't just be, New Times. It can't be just a blog site. There has to be major media attention. And I think that is one of the most important things. I'm going to let John talk about a grant application, a grant that the city of Florida, a matching grant that's passed over the weekend to help with communications. But then I really need to talk about that grant, but I want to go over here and then over to John Mitchell.
Well, Scenic Florida is an organization that was founded in the late 90s. We're an affiliate of Scenic America, and there are many state organizations that are very similar to Scenic Florida. Scenic Florida, like many of the other state organizations like us, have local affiliates within their states. We have Scenic Jacksonville, Scenic Miami-Dade, Scenic St. Petersburg. So those are boots on the ground, so to speak, in local areas. Quite frankly, it's a little difficult to keep an eye on everything that goes on in the state from the Jacksonville office. But as Mr. Britton talked a little earlier, I do want to back up a second and say Scenic Florida has been fighting these battles since the late 90s. And we're up against, where advertising is concerned, we're up against an industry that brings in a ridiculous amount of revenue. And they bring in so much revenue that it makes it very easy for them to spread it among attorneys, to do battle with local governments. The legislature gets a lot of contributions from the outdoor industry. They're very organized. What they lack, however, is passion. And passion wins every time. Passion and some patience wins every time. We've been at this since the late 90s, and we continually step up to the plate, and we swing at every pitch. We don't hit every ball that gets thrown at us. We're persistent. We hang in there. It's because everybody has passion in our organization. I can tell you that probably the best thing that we've accomplished is the grand jury award, which you have a copy of in front of you tonight. That was extremely significant, and I think we got a lot of people's attention right now. And in the legislative session that's about to finish up soon, we probably had our best year we've ever had, probably our best year in many years in the past combined, in making a difference in Tallahassee, because we're finally starting to get our voice. But it's the passion of the people that participate in our organization, and Scenic Miami's been successful. They've been around for a year and a half, but you need to get involved with Scenic Miami. You need to respond when they call you to send an email or show up at a meeting, because that's what makes the difference. Now, Scenic Florida doesn't have a lot of money. We have a very small budget, but we're prepared to offer a grant to Scenic Miami of up to $3,000 for every dollar you all match. Scenic Miami will contribute up to $3,000 to be used on a communication effort to get the message out and hopefully score some points with those messages on the local area here. I think Scenic Miami's already started to raise some money, but they raised $3,000, we'll match it $3,000, and I think that can be effective. Trust me, when I say we have a small budget, our budget's about $25,000 a year. And we spend a lot of that on public records requests and filing fees, and copy charges, and those kind of things. So $3,000 to us is a lot, but we think this is an important battle to win. We think it's winnable, but we need some grassroots boots to help us out and make it happen. So if you're not involved with Scenic Miami, please get involved, become a member. You're welcome to join Scenic Florida. We have a website, scenicflorida.org. We welcome you. We have an e-newsletter that we send out about once a month. It keeps you up to date on a lot of things going on, not only in Miami, but throughout the state of Florida. All scenic issues guesses of who might that be?
The billboard industry.
The outdoor advertising. Because they're so scenically minded. In 1992, the then current president of the Florida Outdoor Advertising Association and his immediate predecessor, Mr. Driggers and Mr. McLaughlin, formed Scenic Florida, Inc. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Florida Outdoor Advertising Association. They both have the same EIN, the Employer Identification Number. They have the same evidence. And for many years, their boards of directors were exactly the same. They're a little bit different now. And occasionally, Biscayne Times may want to pick up the phone tomorrow morning and call the offices of Scenic Florida and come ask them, saying, what are you doing? And they'll go like, huh? Because the secretary who answers the phone won't have the clue that her bosses formed a Scenic Florida. Or if they are aware, they'll like, we'll get back to you. That's a great story. This has happened around the country. There's a Scenic St. Paul, and there's a Scenic St. Paul. There's a Scenic Missouri, and then there's a Scenic Missouri. A Scenic Montana, and a Scenic Montana. So we're the real deal. They're not. As John says, we've got passion. They've got money. We've got persistence. There's revolving doors. The players change. We don't go away. People want a beautiful country. And I think for the next year, I'm looking at what would be a good short-term plan for Miami, what would be a good long-term plan. Long-term plan probably comes after a year of the short-term plan. The short-term plan needs to be communications, media, to educate people on this issue, and then it can't be one. And there are cities like the largest city in South America that said no more. Or there are studies, the question was asked, are there studies? Israel has done a study, we're trying to get a transcript, that they're found that digital billboards are distracting. Sweden did a pilot program, and now has removed the digital billboards as part of the pilot program. Outdoor advertising industry says, wait a minute, that's not the same, because it's on the right-of-way in Sweden and in the United States, we don't have it on the right-of-way. No, you don't have it on the right-of-way, but you got it like 5 feet away from the right-of-way. How is that a measurable difference? So there are studies coming out. The industry has studies too. It's a question of whether you believe the government-sponsored studies or you believe the industry-sponsored studies. There's a gentleman in the back, and then you, and then there's a question over here.
Hi, my name's Terry Murphy, and I learned a lot. I really appreciate your presentation, and I learned a lot about Miami-Dade County. We started out tonight talking with the youth mayor of Miami-Dade, and already learned about Miami-Dade County once had a reputation as a very innovative, groundbreaking government. And I tell you, I think
praised Jacksonville. They were on the phone with me saying, how did you do it? You're a wonderful city on the move. This is the Miami Herald talking about Jacksonville.